they want to make?
It's a little scary to throw outside in the first end. You just don't know, certainly the start of the game, in the pregame practice, everything is geared towards draw to the button. So if you get into that wide ice, it probably hasn't been broken down at all yet. You just don't know how it's going to run.
And both teams trading hits here.
TC at this point in time, after having some trouble earlier in the end, would probably be happy just to get to a blank situation here. But Schwaller would still be thinking about too if she's got the chance. He can't afford to roll out on this one. I don't think that guard, if you got to roll out on the last one, I don't think that guard is tight enough to split.
So the first one away from TC. Hit and stick, no problem.
No real discussion there, so I think she's still just looking to hit on the nose. You could play the long roll. The problem is if you roll halfway there, you make it easier for TC on her last one to get in behind and get the force. She'll likely go after that on her last one anyway, even if it's a 6-foot roll.
Waiting for this one to track on over. It does nicely. We'll stay right there.
And not a lot of discussion there, but look at where the broom is. She's taking tighter ice. She's going to go for the long roll. And why not? I mean, if you roll out, you were probably ending up with a blank anyway. But if you manage to get something in behind that guard, you might get a force out of this.
Yeah, it's a free shot at it. Would definitely take a shot at it if you could.
It's a tough roll, but with that broom location, you got to think she's going for it here.
So Corey TC with her final in the first end. Taylor Anderson trying to work it over. It's just going to hit and stay right there. So blank attempt on the way for Xenia Schwaller.
Well, even this is interesting to me because Schwaller played most of the hits this end from the inside out. She's going to play the outside in, which is the shorter roll for the blank.
Well, you did get to see your opponent throw a few stones right in the same spot, so.
You did.
Schwaller, final stone the first. Big positive release there.
Yeah, she didn't get out to it.
Might have to go the other way, and it's not going to clear. It will be a single point for Xenia Schwaller. TC will have the hammer when we come back. You're watching Curling Stadium.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice bat has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Saskatchewan, you know Sasktel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With Sasktel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. Sasktel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sastel.com/sponsorships.
Welcome back to end number 2 here from the S3 Group Curling Stadium Series here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. I'm Dave Schmel, joined by Shawn, Joyce, Connor Sims on the production today, and we are very happy to have you with us joining here from wherever you are. And if you haven't taken the opportunity yet, please make sure you give us a like and subscribe. A like is just that little thumbs up there you see in your YouTube feed. It really helps us out with the algorithms. And so if you subscribe, you'll stay with us all the time. And including, you can always stay on all the time on our 24/7 replay feed that we have going. It's really kind of cool. So we're going to get our first look at Corey TC with the hammer here.
Couldn't tell from the way that was released, but boy, that had a ton of room coming by the guard, and the weight's not bad. You have to think maybe it was a little bit wide.
An opportunity to hit and roll underneath cover because that center guard did not make it to the center line. It's a little bit over curled. So here's Taylor Anderson from Broomall, Pennsylvania. That's just outside of Philadelphia. Working this one hard. Probably going to lose a roll. And will it hold on for just a piece? Yes, it will. And they lie too.
That's not a bad roll, actually, because if she'd rolled dead in behind the guard, she would have been just behind the tee line, and you're one freeze away from being in trouble. Now, granted, it still has to be made, and you saw the last attempt wasn't very close.
I see they're coming around the other way now. So here's Ryder. I think it's a little bit warm. Now we're going to sweep. Close to that guard there.
Yeah, this has better line coming in for sure.
Line is pretty good now. Where are they going to tuck it to? They're going to tuck it a little bit behind the tee line all the way down to the shot stone.
They were
Not a
playing
bad way to miss.
Yeah, they called for the freeze. They were playing the freeze all the way, and I think part of that might be because there's that little biter at the back. You get one frozen on there, and that eliminates both of those two stones for now, and then you worry about getting something in the top of the 4 foot later. It's kind of a semi-defensive shot by playing the freeze.
You certainly don't want to get in trouble too early. As you mentioned, there is no tomorrow at this point. Shot in the way from Taylor. Little bump. Does release it off the back.
She's looked at which way to roll. She's looked at both ways. Now coming down to take a look at it. The problem with rolling the open side, it's hard not to leave a double. Might be that gesture might be talking about if we leave the double, it's jamming on the one at the back edge of the 12-foot. And yes, it might, but that would still leave you facing 2.
I guess I kind of like the hit and roll a little bit.
Yeah, well, the roll under, I think. They
Yeah.
were talking about rolling away. I think probably the roll under, what they're worried about is you roll half a rock too far and you start to leave a pocket back there. But if you line them dead up, you're in pretty good shape. I mean, it's better than you are now, and it shrinks the house a little bit more. You'd be full 4-foot. It's really tough to roll away and not leave a double on the reds.
So the stone's on the way. Already trying to make it curl. And now it is curling.
Yeah, they might have overcooked it.
I think so. Does
Works
get a
out.
little tap. Yeah, it over curled just enough to tap it back. And they lie 1-2 right in front of their opponent's rock. So just like you said, Shawn, he certainly did shrink the rings.
Yeah, the house gets a little smaller still.
And now Tara Peterson's going to try to draw on down to that.
Both teams really struggling to get the curl on that intern side.
Yeah, they just don't really have a good feel for the line. It wicks off in its second shot now. Schwaller sitting 1. Now a chance for them to change gears and maybe move a little bit more offensively.
Once again, she's going to go to the out turn. They did get a good freeze earlier with the out turn.
Slated Gaffner with the rock. This one does need to go past the guard, no problem. It doesn't have the legs. Can they carry it all the way down? The answer to that is no. It's going to be just biting the top of the 8.
Still, it probably makes this freeze a little tougher just based on what we've seen of this intern. It doesn't seem to want to go.
Just looking at the long shot, I would almost be tempted to go back to the out turn here. Tara Peterson. Now you see Taylor Anderson switching sides.
Yeah, again with a lot of room.
A lot of room and plenty of pace. I think that was more the problem than anything else. Does lie second shot. First time in this direction, so both teams are still trying to get dialed in.
Yeah, not the worst thing in the world to come up short here, because there's a pocket at the back now. If you even stop full top 8, or just biting top 8, even straight across from the other one, at least then it would be TC throwing next. Wouldn't be able to get down to the back ones. No, it's not. Tara Peterson still got 1 left. She'd made her way down just to talk about it.
This one is going to be a little bit on the lighter side.
Yeah, but the line's great.
Fantastic line. It's going to come on all the way down and get full forward. They lie 1-2. Well managed shot there.
You're almost forced to slash that, try to get the over-the-top double on the reds. You're going to lose your shooter, but I mean, I don't see how else you're getting rid of that redstone. There's no draw that helps you. That rock's just in too dangerous of a position.
Yeah, because it always goes back to anything you throw.
She talked about the outturn draw, but exactly, she taps it up and
so a little bit of trouble here for Corey TC.
So they did settle on the hit. It's really thin too. Like half a rock, you probably just dead stuff it on that one at the back of the forefoot, and then it's dead covered and a little closer to the button.
So big shot here to try to prevent a steal against you here.
This is not a lot of weight. Are they trying to get to the inside of this?
On a hard on and off. It looks like they are trying to get the inside. Need to scan the guard to do it. Got to get past the guard. Don't wreck it. Oh, you did.
That was just a super difficult shot to not jam it on the back when I'm not loving the call.
Definitely seemed to be a relatively high degree of difficulty there.
Well, and fairly low reward too. I mean, your shooter wasn't going to be in far enough to be shot rock.
Right. It's one thing to take a shot on like that, but you want to do something for you if
you were still going to be facing one buried. In fact, if you make it, you roll a sliver under, and I don't know how you're ever getting at the shot rock.
So if you're Schwaller here, how do you really clamp this one down?
You know, you could guard the shot stone, the one at the top of the forefoot now. TC would have the outturn draw now. That rock has moved over far enough. There's kind of a port there for the outturn draw. She's only going to get one chance to make it. If she doesn't make it, even if she does make it, I'm not sure how she's getting two.
I think she's more concerned about not giving up to right now. Yeah, that's one of those things, Shawn. That if you go and throw that guard up there where
she's trying to, yeah, she's looking at trying to take the port away for the outturn draw. The problem with that is, TC should have played the slash double on her last one. She's probably going to play it on the next one, or let's hope. So I just don't know that you want to leave that shot. Even if you freeze right to that redstone at the top of the forefoot is not bad.
Right. So basically, once you throw this, if you throw the center guard, you're daring TC to make the draw.
Well, yes, and if she makes it, you follow it down anywhere short of it. She's not getting two. She doesn't even have a shot for two. And she's still got to make it. I mean, it's not a gimme.
Oh, certainly not.
It's there. I mean, it looks like it's there, but it's not going to look good from the hacks.
Looks like they have settled in on the guard.
Here's a good look at it from the hacks. Like, there is a draw port there on the outturn side. You can see Corey's already looking at it. It's not going to look great from the hacks. It looks like the hole is less than half a rock's width, but watching the two Schwaller stones that came down earlier in the end, it is moving on that side. You can make that port with draw 8. It's just never a comfortable throw when it doesn't look good from the hacks.
So Xenia Schwaller with her first here in the second. Line looks pretty good.
Yeah.
It's really a line shot more than anything else. That's a good result. We'll accomplish our task. I agree with you, Shawn. The draw is the way to go.
Yeah, you have, and I think you have to play the out turn. They're looking at the in turn as well to get to their own at the back, which that might be your shot for two at the end if you think it'll go. I haven't seen much curl on this side yet, and if you hang it out there at all, you let them roll in underneath, and you're facing three on your last one. The Schwaller team has drawn in twice from this side in this end, and it certainly did look like it moved more than the in turn. That looks tight for ice.
Now, looking at that broom, I would think that they might have to put their brushing shoes on. Big shot here for Corey TC.
She does tend to throw it fairly positive, so she might need that little bit less ice. Certainly tighter line than the Schwaller team had coming down here.
Got to be on it really hard. It's already all over the guard.
Over the guard. Well, not only did she make the port, but by moving the guards over, if Schwaller throws an out turn guard, I don't know how you get to the 4 foot now. And this out turn guard could be right to bite 4 foot is fine too. You'd hate to come 6 inches too deep and leave her something she could come down to and just tap it for a single. The miss here is short. I'd be tempted to throw this really long. I think if you're into the house, Corey TC might have to play just a double off the one you're about to throw. Just slash it in there and give you one, because any kind of draw she's going to play, she's likely giving up 2.
No, absolutely. Schwaller with her last to the second. This one is going to curl up pretty much right into that draw path. Pretty well executed. So I see a lot of red and one lonely yellow there.
Yeah. Yeah. You got the wide in-turn draw, and you got to hope it curls.
That's going to be the call.
It has to over curl the guard to get shot rock. You might be able to get second on this. I haven't seen anything on this side yet to make me think she could get shot rock off this.
And the other issue is we're way out in no man's land where nobody's played yet. So the speed's going to be a bit of a guess too. Corey TC, final stone of the second end. She faces 2. Needs to get all the way to the 4-foot to be shot rock.
Yeah, it's going to have to be right on the tee line and then hope it curls far enough. And
Anderson
it is a long ways out there.
It is taking the break now, but the question is, will it come over enough and settle down? It appears to have all the weight it needs. And will it settle down at all to cut anything with the last spin? I don't think so. I believe it's a steal of 2. They're going to take a look to make sure.
It's 1 for sure. I would be surprised to see the measuring stick come out, but it looks like 2.
And it is indeed a steal of 2 for Xenia Schwaller, and they take a 3-0 advantage after 2. TC will have the hammer in the third when we come back from Swift Current right after this. You're watching Curling Stadium.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts Charity Bonspiel in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids in our community. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together, we can spread joy.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, you got it.
Come on up. Okay, well, what do you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
We're back here in the third end from Swift Current. It's a nice day outside. Right at the freezing point, 0 degrees. It's a 3-0 advance right now for Xenia Schwaller over Team Peterson from the U.S. with Corey TC at the skip. It's a quarterfinal game and another game going on right now on sheet 6. If you want to catch it on Curling Stadium as well, we have from Korea, Boba Kang versus Danielle Inglis of Ontario. And we have the camera feed up for that and for all the games from this spiel. You can click the little links that are right on curlingzone.com. But Corey TC's got to shake this one off, Shawn.
Yeah, she does. I mean, she got a little bit of a break in the first end in that Schwaller took a single point she didn't really want, but just really nothing went well for them in that end. I still think they maybe took a little too much risk on in the third final stone. It's a steal of 2, but it is early. You've got the hammer here. Try to get your 2 back. One thing I will say from the games that I've had a chance to call here in Swift Current, if you do get a corner guard up and get a chance to come around, and we've seen a lot of teams do this, they'll ignore the 2 on the center, come around the corner because it almost seems like there's more movement to the corner. You have an easier time getting around a corner guard. The line was coming nice on that, just not quite the legs. If that's T-line, it's dead buried.
You can see about half a rock. See there on the long shot.
There is some risk with this. This is still just the 5th stone of the end. If she crashes the guard, cannot remove it from play. And I did see that happen once earlier this week, trying to chase around a corner, because they do move.
It clears the guard, and they're going to pick it out no problem in lie 3.
One more look at it. They swept early for curl, but
it clears the guard, and they're going to pick it out no problem in
just
lie
hack
3.
weight. So they actually had to switch at the end. They didn't want to stay too close to the guard, leave the hit and roll behind. Getting to be too many rocks near the middle, so Corey's asking for something to move here.
Now, the nice shot by Taylor there to get the hit and the roll and recovery. You get a little twofer there. Beautiful rock.
At the end, they didn't want to stay too close to the guard, leave the hit and roll behind. Getting to be too many rocks near the middle, so Corey's asking for something to move here.
Came on over, got the hit, and the nice shot by Taylor there to get the hit. Killed 2 birds with 1 stone there.
Got to figure the guard's going to go here, and actually she gets the rock in the rings as well.
Well, as you would expect here in the playoffs, they're here to play.
Yeah, and they're in a hurry, too. Every time we get a good shot and we show a replay, they're almost done the next one by the time we come back. They got to slow down and let us appreciate the good ones. They still do have the guard to work with.
You're honestly not asking for teams to slow down on us, are you, Shawn?
We're okay with these two, I think, so far.
Okay.
You'll never see me ask for certain teams out of Alberta to slow down. I'm not going to name names.
Nice draw by Tara there. I like the aggressive call, even though it's not the right color guard. Still, it's really, really long.
It's long enough, and it's off center. You're down 3. I think you have to play the come around when you got the chance. The 2 reds aren't really a problem at this point in time. They're lined up to make a double. I will say that yellow probably stopped just in time. If it's much deeper, it might be in the way of any double that you could play later on. Schwaller calling for the chase, but if it clips the guard, that won't be the worst result.
It is coming really close to that guard, and it will just tick it out of the way. Will the shooter make it under the rings? It will.
Yeah.
And lie 4th.
I'm not positive if you cared if that one stopped. It's just shrapnel to jam on at the end.
So now it's time to take on these stones.
That's interesting. You heard her. I think you heard her say, I could hear her say just a hair high. So she's trying to hit this just a sliver on the broom side, not looking for the double. She actually wants to hit them kind of in line and leave her shooter in front of the red stone. Just looking to kill 1 here, I think.
On this right off the jump, trying to hold that line.
Yeah, if it gets to the nose or past, she'll have to look for the double. Might kick the one in behind the yellow shot stone. Didn't quite get there.
Shooter does hang on to be 3rd, though.
Yeah, and it leaves the red at the top of the 4 foot. It's in the way, so there's no chance of a double. And that red at the back, though, is shrapnel. She can't make a play on the 3rd shot stone. She'd leave the double. Or pardon me, she could jam it and leave it in the rings. So she's going to play the yellow 2nd shot. Really hard to do this and not leave a double.
So here we come inside out. We've seen plenty of movement here all week. Now trying to carve it over just a touch more. They'll make the hit, but get a good amount of separation.
Yeah. And that's what they were playing. They were trying to touch the red just so that they could move it enough to make the double difficult. You could still make the double. Hard to hold the shooter.
I think she's looking to hit and roll first.
Yeah, you hit and roll first. If it touches the second one, great, but that's not guaranteed.
Stolen away from Peterson. On it hard now. Gonna just nose it, not get much of a roll at all. They lie second, third.
Yeah, the yellows are pretty well straight across, but there's only about 4 feet between them, and you don't need to kill the second. When you move it about 6 inches, you're sitting 3. It's tough. That looks like a lot of ice if she's going to actually try to get over there and move it. It's so flat, you'd have to throw some weight. Now, you will get the gear effect throwing this out turn, so you'll get a little bit more action off the hit. You'd roll flatter playing the in turn.
You'd also have to throw it a lot heavier.
You're going to have to throw, if you're really going after the double, you're going to have to throw this fairly heavy regardless. I'm not sure she's actually going after the double. I think it looks like she's just trying to roll over to the edge of it. Yeah, that weight's not moving the second rock.
Here's Schwaller with her first.
Not sure that needs to curl if she's going to try to roll over there.
Probably let the double take out back here for sure.
She did. Not sure who will be second shot if it's made.
Be really, really close. Well, if you make it over the top, is there a danger of jamming or?
Well, I think the bigger danger is if you make it over the top, are you holding the shooter? You could dead stuff it and roll in, sit second and third, and I'm not sure she could hit either one of them on the nose and get second shot.
So Corey Tesey with her first here in the third. Looking to remove some red granite here. Waiting for it to come. It's pretty close now. And it's going to jam it on. Do they clear it out? They do lie second and third. They didn't not make the double.
Yeah, but it's pretty risky for Schwaller to try to hit either one of those stones and roll. Like that hit and roll, very good chance it jams at the back. The double is probably jamming on shot stone. Or could. I mean, there's room to get it over the top. Worth noting that shot stone is a good piece behind cover right now. I think they've ruled out the hit on the wide one, knowing that if you're going to try to roll in, you're jamming it on the back. You can't afford to risk that. They're talking about hitting the one on the center line, try to roll over and protect the one that's shot rock at the back of the 8. You could just draw, but it's hard to want to do that when you're looking at second and third belonging to the opposition, and you don't want to give them a chance for 3. There's a good look at it. No, I guess that red in the back of the 8 is just fully open.
Yeah, I feel like there's a good chance you'd make this over the top, but like you said, there certainly is a danger.
Well, I initially thought she was rolling that way. This could be an attempt at the double, but you're really thin on the first one. No, she's coming over the top and just trying to roll over and protect that red stone. Definitely did not get out to the broom. They should be brushing this.
They are on it hard right now. Schwaller's last here in the third. Going to make the hit. On over, and that's
probably just in time.
It looks like it'll be just the draw for 1 for Peterson.
Yeah, it was a little nonchalant on that brush. I mean, if that rolls 2 inches more, now whether Corey wants to take it on or not, that's a different question. But if it rolls 2 inches more, there's a shot there for 2.
I suppose if you had to win this tournament right now, you could probably take a shot at it anyway, but it's pretty low percentage.
Yeah, I don't know if it's there with the weight you'd need to throw, but I mean, you only have to have like back 12, and if you crash the red, you just roll into the 4-foot anyway.
Corey TC, final stone of the third end. On it really hard. Tara's going to come out and supervise and help bring it to. It's got to go. They think they like it. Just needs to get up to the 4-foot, up to the 4-foot, and you park it just good enough for your single point. It's 1 on the board for Team Peterson. They trail Schwaller by 2 after 3. We'll be back from Swift Current after this. You're watching Curling Stadium.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Sasktel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? Sasktel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
We're back here. It's the 4th end of the S3 Group Curling Stadium Series here from Swift Current, Saskatchewan. Dave Schmel, Shawn, Joyce with you. Connor Sims on the production. Sherry and Cailey in our studios back in London, Ontario. It was a single point for Corey TC for Team Peterson, and they lay up that center guard to start the 4th and followed on down and half open for Team Schwaller.
And they're calling the second center right away.
We're going to get to see some action here in the 4th. I do feel like that the Peterson rink showed a much better handle on the ice conditions last end, so doesn't seem like a bad time to step out. And of course, scoring in an even end is what the analytics people like.
It keeps the Schwaller team from playing to the corners as well. So you got it playing the end in the section of the ice you want. Now, that's not to say that it's necessarily going to go your way, but you're down 2 without. You'd like to get a steal. If you get a force, that's not the end of the world. It's still early. You got lots of time.
This one comes on down. They end up sweeping it past. Probably would like to get it further since it wasn't going to curl all the way out. Now, you see Corey calling for back 8 weight.
Yeah, you'd love to get just across the nose of the shot stone, move it back and sit in behind cover. But if you stay just a sliver on the high side, move it behind the tee line and stay frozen on the wider of the two. I mean, there's a few good combinations here for the Peterson team.
This stone has a long way to curl. It does take that curl now. Not going to get up to the shot rock. I don't think that's the worst place to be, though.
Well, it's not great. That stone's easily removed, and now it's time to start peeling guards.
Fabian Ryder. Gets that top one out of the way. And now we'll see how committed Corey Teesey is to pushing this steal.
Well, she's got to be real careful not to give up the multiple, so you might see her have to play something on the shot rock. She could play the double now, hard not to leave one back. If she's playing the roll underneath, she's going to jam the one red and keep it in play. There's still going to be double off the yellows.
Yeah, she was calling for the back 8-foot weight.
Yeah.
Tara Peterson with the rock on the way. This one over curling on them.
Straight draw now. It doesn't have the weight to move it anyway. See, the double might be there. The red in the middle might be in the way. It's hard to tell.
It just may be for sure. They're going to come on down and take a look at it here.
Yeah, she wants to see just where those are. Of course, from the hack, and it might look like those 3 are dead in a line. There is room to get over top of the red and get into that second yellow stone.
But Shawn, if you go and catch that shot rock, is there a danger of putting it onto your own in the back too?
There is. I'm not sure how worried they are about that. There's a lot of congestion in the middle right now. You don't have to throw this with big weight either. You could just play the hit and roll over. That's one of the things they're talking about. But when you roll over to that yellow, there's a chance you nudge it out in the open.
And timeout has been called.
I have to think that means they got a coach here. There's hardly any point calling timeout if you don't.
Coach is listed as Xenia Schwaller. So you see they're talking about coming down to that one that was just delivered.
Yeah, interesting. Your shooter would never be able to be removed. I'm not sure they're talking about getting there with a draw, though. I think they're looking at the hit and roll over to that spot.
Now the coaches arrived. Nice little Swiss toque there. That seems to be a approving nod. Considering it was a home end, I almost feel like the coach was getting coffee.
You really? Okay, I guess because it's a Swiss coach, right? Maybe could even have been hot chocolate for that matter.
That's great. Well, if it's a Canadian coach, it's certainly a beer.
I wonder how much Tobler on a team like this brings over with them when they come. It's like currency.
So after discussion, delivery's on the way.
Yeah, it's probably tight.
Off and on.
It's close.
They're gonna make a play here on this outside one and get it and move on over and come on and corner freeze onto that yellow. That's a
just
great
tickled.
outcome.
Just tickled the red stone, but left them cornered on the yellow. They're in pretty good shape. Corey Tisi, on the other hand, not in very good shape.
Delivery's on the way.
Yeah, it's probably tight.
Off and on.
Did a good job to hold that stone earlier.
They're going to make a play here on this outside one and
fully out to the
get
broom.
it and
Like
move
just
on over
inside.
and
You see her touch the shot
come
stone,
on.
ends up cornered, and that red stone that she just delivered, you can still see a quarter of it, which is all you need to make that yellow go away.
So obviously,
they're never going
to play some kind of hit here.
Well, it looks like that's what they're looking at. I don't think they're ever going to look at it, but your get out of jail shot here is you come around on the other side, tap the yellow up to frozen on the one at the back of the forfeit, because that yellow stone's gone if you leave it where it is. You play it like a split. Chip the yellow through the button to freeze on the stone at the back forefoot. Get your shooter out of the way so they can't play a double off of it. And then you can do something with the reds at the top later. Right now, like they can make a play on shot rock. Their shooter's going to be no better than fourth unless they can clip the back one. And I don't know if she could see enough of it to clip the back one.
Yeah, I do like that shot call, Shawn.
I mean, you're still in some trouble, but it's your best bet right now because that Yellowstone at the top of the forefoot is gone anytime Schwaller wants to get rid of it. So why not break the freeze yourself so you can't play that?
Looks like the call here is to draw down to the one in the back four.
I think this is a tap on the one in the top four and try to leave a pocket back there. You're still going to be in trouble at the top forefoot for now, but if you can leave a couple of rocks in the back forefoot, you might have a chance to get out of it later.
On the way from Peterson. Haven't touched this one a little bit yet.
It's got a curl.
Might go to that back one now.
Going to the back one now for sure, but I'm not sure how that. Well, she's got second and third for now. I have to think her second shot's about to disappear. Don't have to play it right now. I mean, it's always going to be there.
come on down and have a talk about this one.
Yeah, if you could do anything good off the back when it's not a bad shot, it's just it's tough to get a great result off the back one on this shot.
For one long guard, this is a very complicated house, Shawn.
Well, it is. The guard's not really a factor. It's all the freezes. You could get to the nose of that redstone if you really wanted to with enough weight to move it. If they're playing the red onto the yellow, the question is, where do they want the shooter to end up? That red's not going anywhere. Looks like that was a Fabian reader. Her idea is to make the nose hit on the yellow, get rid of the one at the back of the 4-foot, maybe slightly broomside roll out. You'd want to roll well into the 8-foot if you're doing that. You sure don't want to leave the roll back underneath all the staggers.
On this one, hard, coming down with a good amount of pace. Past the guard, and they remove it, no problem. And they sit shot stone, second shot still belonging to Corey Tisi and Team Peterson.
Yeah, I don't like her first call. The hit and roll over, it's just leaving a double on the yellows. I'm not sure she thought this through.
Last of the 4th from Peterson. Now trying to carve it over a touch. Gonna get just a piece of shot stone and move the other one back.
Well, that's a disaster. Because now you make that shot off the top one and you're sitting 4. And they've spread everything out well enough that there's not going to be anything to freeze off of. That's another one of those shots where the risk was pretty high and there wasn't much reward. She makes the shot. She leaves the double on the yellows, still to sit 3. You would have had a double back because they would have been closer together.
So if you're Schwaller, just time to kill the yellow?
Yeah, and I think you have to play it red onto the yellow. They're looking at the other side, but that's jamming on the back red.
Yeah, the way they're angled, the yellow should go over the top.
I think so, yeah. Really, the only question here is where does your shooter end up, where you want it to end up. You can roll a long way with this if you wanted to. This is tight.
This is tight right off her hand. This is
holding.
It's holding. It's going to be awfully close to the guard, though. Awfully close. They just squeak it by.
They should have stayed on that.
And it is going to just make it over the top end, but it does hang around. And now with that guard out of the way, is there a get out jail free card for Corey Tisi at all?
Yeah, I'm not sure. The problem with it is if you could get to enough of the nose to have a shot at making the double or perhaps the triple, there's 2 reds going towards the yellow-red combination on the right-hand side as well, and one of them is likely going to end up into that.
Well, back to your high-risk type shot.
I don't know what else you got.
Well, I don't know if does running the guard end up any better?
I mean, that's such a low percentage shot. Yeah. Like if you're close to the nose here, you should move 2 reds. I'm not sure if you get them both out of the 8-foot, and your shooter should stay. So, I mean, you'll limit the damage here. I think more than likely the red at the corner of the button is jamming on the one at the back of the 4-foot. So You're probably giving up a shot for 2 no matter what, but right now you almost have to take that. If the guard wasn't there, if you could get to the nose with weight, you might be able to make the triple and sit too, but I just don't think it's there with the guard there. You got to get close to the nose. If you don't catch the rock at the top of the forefoot, it's a draw for 3.
Here's TC. Anderson on it hard to get past the guard. You got to squeak by. You did. Now you move 1, 2, stuff it.
Yeah, just couldn't throw the weight she needed to make the double. It still leaves 2 of them in the forefoot.
Indeed. So it's Schwaller sitting 1-2.
Yeah.
TC 3-4.
The yellow's in a good spot. It's a usable stone, and that's why Schwaller's looking at how can we get rid of it. You got to be careful with if you're removing it. I don't know if you want to just roll a rocks with. I think if you were going to remove it, you want to get your shooter out of the way, because right now TC's probably playing the freeze on the back red. She can't really play the double. The angle's there for the double. The problem is the first red's going into the yellow at the back. So I don't think you have to worry about her playing that. You want to roll, I think you want to roll out of the way here so that if she makes the freeze, you can blast it out.
Of course, by trying to roll out of the way, you're bringing the jam into play as well.
Well, you'd have to be really, really thin to jam it. I don't think they're too worried about that. They could be thinking, like, the freeze is really tough. It is a long guard. If she has to play the in-turn freeze, it's really tough. They could be thinking if you keep the shooter close to right there, if she makes a good draw, you've got it available for a short run. Definitely tight again. This is not... They might be better to crash the guard. If she gets by the guard, she might be jamming it on the red. Oh, great job of the brushes to hold that.
And it will clear it. Great brushing, great sweeping there. They like.
Yeah, with as tight as that was coming by, I was afraid it was going to overcurl at the end. Definitely tight again. There's a good look at it. I mean, if she gets just inside the nose, she jams it on the red. Crash the guard. If she gets by the guard, she might be jamming it on the red. Brusher never left it, and it never moved. Job of the brush another inch after it got by the guard.
And it will clear it. Great brush. So obviously a very difficult situation for Corey TC here.
Yeah, you'd love to make the freeze. It's just very tough. If you're not frozen, that stone that was just delivered is available for a short angle run.
Absolute must make for Corey TC here. Her last of the fourth. Anderson thinks it has plenty. Now it's starting to take that curl. Will they get to where they need to be? Got to walk it over. It's still got some curling to do.
Yeah.
Just a touch heavy. I think you just let it sit there a little bit too long.
Well, they were kind of caught. The line, the way it looked like it was going, was going to come by the red. If you're heavy and by the red, that's no good either.
Yeah, that last little.
It did take a bit of a spin at the end. Yeah. It's the only reason it's hooked over it at all, I think. But when you're coming from this side, the side she's coming out with the little run, it's not hooked over it in a way that helps you at all. You know, this could be for 4 too, because certainly where she makes contact with that redstone, I don't think she'd be in far enough for 4th shot, but it's going to roll. It's just a question of how far.
Xenia Schwaller, final stone of the 4th. Playing the short raise.
Again, she's not wide.
On this one hard.
Nope.
Got to hold the angle and they'll kick it over. And really close. It is going to be just a single point. So a big sigh of relief for Corey Tucci and Team Peterson. They're still alive, but they trail by 3. When we come back, you're watching Curling Stadium.
Handcrafted in Canada, Artline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed? More innovation?
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
We're back here, end number 5, halfway through. And Shawn, huge opportunity by the wayside for Team Schwaller.
Yeah, just needed to be on the outside of that a sliver more, and it would have been 3 anyway, maybe 4, depending where the shooter ends up. As it was, just moved it enough to pick up a single. And if you're Peterson, you breathe a sigh of relief and say, hey, we wanted to force that in. We got it. Now what can we do with the hammer?
This draw attempt coming well back in the rings.
Yeah, that can only help the Peterson team. Just 1 stone in the center line area in front of the tee line that they'll have to deal with later.
Second rock coming from Taylor Anderson.
Wants to get close to the tee here. Won't mind if this is back 8 even. The deeper it is, the more room it has to curl at the end and get well behind cover.
Now, this is certainly deep. As long as it hangs around for second, It's not bad.
Even if it's third, it's not the end of the world. Deep's never bad when you're coming around your own corner guard this early in the end. You just want to get it buried, because if they can't hit it, like if they're chasing and just following it down, you're fine with that. You're going to play the whole end on the corner if they do that.
And they are indeed taking on the chase.
They're going to do it with enough weight to try to kill it, though.
Yeah, they said hack.
This is risky. Again, still just the 5th stone of the end. You got to be careful not to clip the guard. Still a free guard at this point in time.
And they're on this right out of her hand. Now they seem to like it. Good amount of rotation.
It's a lot of weight for hack.
That's a very heavy hack. They will kill it. And just get underneath their own. But opportunity for TC to come right back in there.
Yeah, I'd like to get this one a little bit farther behind cover. Again, deep doesn't matter. It's buried. You got to get this buried. Because in this case, you know they're going to make the play on the guard next. This has got a ton of room.
Starting to track over just fine now. Get those last licks in.
Yeah,
it should turn out pretty good.
I think you got to be on that.
Now it's higher. It'd be a tougher chase. Now they're just going to peel the guard.
Well, that's a bonus for the Peterson team.
You betcha.
They don't have to worry about that stone at the top of the house now.
So now the call for the guard to go right back.
Yeah, you guard this, maybe straight through and then just draw for your 2 at the end if you had to. Schwaller knows that. She won't be peeling the guard with the last one. She'd be chasing with the last one no matter how good the guard is. You do want to leave some separation. You don't want to give them something that they could try to run back and make the double.
This will have separation, and the line looks pretty good.
Needs to stop. Yeah, that's pretty good there.
Nice shot by Tabitha Peterson.
Those are hard to watch, as a brusher, as the line caller, even as you're watching that rock come to the end, and it's like, okay, it's good, it's good, it's good. Stop. Because it just keeps coming at the end, and that wouldn't have had to go much further to leave a corner of that rock exposed.
So now we're going to repeat the same.
You do not want to over curl here. If you leave her a sliver on the outside, they can't really play it because there's the chance it goes onto the red at the back. You just can't leave her the sliver on the inside.
This one has a little bit more room.
Well, that'll be fine because they walk at the end and they just don't want to die. Look at it slide.
Now, this is tight enough. You might try to make the double.
Might.
Is, of course, always a chance of jamming it, stuffing, and leaving another guard. Xenia Gaffner. Just going to take the straight peel here. Got to put the guard back up. You see they briefly discussed the freeze in the back. What do you think of that option?
I don't think you're getting a 3 out of it anyway, so you may as well throw the guard. I'd love to see them leave the outside corner of it and see if they couldn't tempt her to make a play on it.
This one looks a little bit lighter. And almost like they were listening to you.
Yeah, she's not even going to look at it though. Like that's how you get the extra point here is if she was to try to chase around the outside and jammed it on the back. Mind you, we're late enough at the end; it's still probably only going to be 2.
Team Schwaller from representing the Grasshopper Club in Zurich, a multi-sport club. Fielding teams in at least 12 different sports. Almost like university. Good firm weight here from Schwaller.
This is close to nose. Okay.
Interesting choice.
Yeah, don't fall for this. Okay, there's only 2 stones left. If you bury it, she's just hitting the open one anyway. And if you bury this in a spot where she can play the double off the open one, you're in trouble. You're almost better off to go open side here. You're only getting 2.
Right, so if you draw the open side, they're going to chase one or the other.
Yeah, and admittedly, she's going to try to hit and roll in behind, but that still has to be made. I mean, she's playing that anyway. Here's the problem. If you come dead even with that stone, she's going to play the double. There's not going to be a lot of room between them. If you're high enough in the rings that she can't play the double, she's going to try to roll under the one you're about to deliver. There's not much good that comes out of drawing this to the middle.
Now, Tara's going to come on out and actually assist Taylor this time. Trying to drag it. They do at least need to be second shot, and they're not.
And now it's a center guard. Yeah, I didn't like the call. Think about it. If you bring that far enough in that it's even second shot, it's still a guard. She's trying to roll behind it, and now it's in the way.
You've converted me, Reverend. You're preaching to the choir.
Yeah. It's the timing in the end, right? If it was one shot sooner, then sure, by all means, you make that come around, because if she doesn't make this hit and roll, now 3's in play. 3 was never going to be in the play. We're too late in the end.
So, final stone from Xenia Schwaller. Work it over. You got the hit. Where's it going to roll? Going to slide open. Does it get out of the rings? It does.
It's out.
So now you have a blank opportunity at least.
You do. It's not an easy one.
I think you had to throw it.
I would tend to think so. 1's not helping you a lot. If you get 1 here, you're down 2 with 3 ends to play. And without last rock, you're pretty much full-blown steal mode after that.
There's the old look over the shoulder.
Taylor asking about the split. It's tough to get them both in far enough.
At least worth considering.
It is.
I think he had to go for the blank.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. You know, if there was more movement to the middle, you'd feel a lot more comfortable with this. And I think that's probably where the hesitation is coming in. They've seen so many of these rocks played from the outside in with a little bit extra weight, just run so dead straight. So the fact that you can only see maybe a third of that rock, it doesn't feel like a lot, right? She's got the broom in a spot where it's got to move a little bit. She doesn't like it from the hacks. She's going to draw.
Corey TC, final rock, 5th end. Needs a little better than full 12. Just need to clear this guard, and the weight looks okay.
And of course, on the last stone, she dead buries it on the top corner of the button.
A single point for Corey TC and Team Peterson. They trail by 2. Schwaller has the hammer when we come back. You're watching Curling Stadium.
Handcrafted in Canada, Artline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Saskatchewan, you know Sasktel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With Sasktel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. Sasktel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sastel.com/sponsorships.
And we're back here from Swift Current. It's the S3 Group Curling Stadium Series, brought to you by the S3 Group, Bumper to Bumper, Asham, Hardline, and Sasktel. Dave Schmel and Shawn Joyce has an update on our other games happening in the barn right now. Shawnee?
Yeah, I'll update the ones on the women's side as well. There's 2 men's semifinals. I don't have those in front of me, but going through the C event, looking for the last 2 playoff spots. Brooklyn Stevenson took 5 in the first, 3 more in the third, made short work of her game. She's already moved through with an 8-1 victory over Michelle Englot. And Kathleen Ward with a 7-2 lead over one of the local teams, Andra Todd. That after 4 ends, Todd has last rock as they play in the 5th there. Those are C event qualifying games. So 3 chances to make the playoffs. There's actually 1 quarterfinal being played a little bit early, and we can only assume that it might have something to do with perhaps some travel requests for the teams involved. Danielle Inglis with a 4-3 advantage playing the 6th over Boba Kang. And Inglis has last rock with that 1-point advantage as well. So 3 games looking for a playoff spot, and 1 game where they're looking to get an early jump on the semifinals, and maybe for one of them an early jump onto the flight home.
We see just there in our shot, we see Knapp has a 3-rock lead over Dustin Kaltoff.
Interesting there too, in that, and I talked about it a little bit during one of the men's games that I did yesterday. And if we have some Saskatchewan teams later on the women's side, I'll talk about it as well. But this weekend and next weekend are going to be very instrumental in determining which teams pre-qualify for provincials. So on the men's side, Knapp and Kaltoff are about a point separating each other coming into this event for 2nd and 3rd on the CTRS rankings. 3 berths available to the tankard off that. So it was an opportunity for Kaltoff to jump ahead of Knapp, but as you said, he's down right now. And of course, next week's results count as well, also here from Swift Current, and that'll be it. After that, they'll determine who are the pre-qualified teams here in Saskatchewan. So a lot at stake for the Saskatchewan teams playing both this weekend, next weekend.
So we see Team Peterson taking an aggressive approach here, of course. 2 guards up. They're debating which one hurts him the most, and they've decided to center line. Ryder peels that off, no problem. Now Tabitha Peterson now. Obviously Schwaller in a very good spot here, up to with hammer in the 6th. Certainly going to be up to Corey TC and Team Pearson to generate some offense. Putting up another guard here. Another guard elicits another peel. No problem there.
While you were watching all that, I was sneaking a peek at the field for next week as well. I hadn't looked yet. I was thinking, well, maybe it makes a difference to some of these teams. Who's coming back next week? Schwaller's team is going to be in attendance next week, so this is a nice chance for them to get a look at the ice before an event with a little bigger purse and a little stronger field next week. The Peterson team taking next week off. I was looking, there's a few teams that were playing shorthanded this week. I was looking to see if any of them were playing next weekend, and I don't see that any of them are. It would have been interesting to see if they had a 4th player for next week.
This guard's going to overcurl on him.
Yeah.
Lee's shot stone, second shot stone, well exposed.
Does, but if you just blast it out, it leaves the come around on the 2 guards. I think the guards are the bigger problem right now. It's a little scary to try the double peel because if you just miss the second one, it's going into the red at the back. So they're just going to peel a tight guard again.
They do get that tight one.
Yeah, and that's just, it seems like a simple approach, but it's probably the safest one. You don't need to make a play in the house until your opposition, in this case, the Peterson team, until they make you make a play in the house. And when she does that, there's some danger. She's not going to have much left to work with.
So now you see Corey TC.
Yeah,
considering a few different things. Yeah.
Well, you make the hit. How do you not leave a double? The only guard you've got left to work with right now is fairly high. Now, if you make the come around on the intern side, those 2 rocks in the 8-foot and 4-foot are kind of blocking any out turn path. I mean, they're not, but they'll look like it from the hack. It makes it a more uncomfortable throw. Right now, really, Schwaller needs 2 shots to get rid of that yellow at the top of the 8-foot, probably. You'd hate to make the first one for her. I kind of like I don't mind the tight guard yet, but you almost have to play it from the intern side. You play it from the intern side, and if you don't dead bury it, she can't peel that one because it's coming into the rocks and the rings. Then you've got something to bury around later on. This would be the same turn. This is what I'm talking about, but I think they're looking to come right into the 4-foot here.
Definitely some merits to both shots here.
Yeah, there's some risk with this. It just depends where you put it. If you're up a little too high, you might leave a double on the yellows, and they won't care if they jam one. If you're too deep, it might be yellow onto red onto the one you're about to throw. I like the guard. Then they peel the high one, and you come around the guard.
This one is coming around.
Yeah.
How deep does it go?
That's not a good result.
Yeah. That needs to be 4 feet either way, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This is one where actually you could get really tight by the guard. You could hit the one that was just thrown first and still make the double, and then you're definitely not jamming.
Selena Gaffner.
Yeah, this is going to be close to the jam at the back. Just over the top.
Take him, and they both go out. Does that one go out the top? Nope.
Well, if you knew you could make it that way, that's a great result, because now there's nothing in the 4-foot, and that guard's fairly high. You almost need this dead buried half in the 8-foot at the front, just enough to be shot rock. The deeper you come, the more separation there is.
The easier it is to dig out, for sure.
Exactly, yeah. If you could make them make a play on the guard, there's actually jams on both sides.
Corey Teesey with her first. This has plenty of weight. Now just managing the line. They will get it dead buried, but it's all the way down by the tee line.
It's still a tough chase. She's probably got to come at it from the out turn side. The guard is so long, though. There's probably, well, I think probably a little more than 15 feet between the guard and the rock and the rings.
At least. So Xenia Schwaller with her first, trying to pick out the stone, just delivered by Corey Teesey. On this one right away.
Once they're by the guard, they'll switch the sweepers, try to get some curl.
This is going to be tight to the card. It just whiskers by, no problem. Now work it over. Make contact, push it out and through. That's how you do that. On this one right away.
Once they're by the guard, they'll switch the sweepers, try to get some curl.
This is going to be tight to the card. It just whiskers by, no problem. Now work it over.
Get that last little bit of curl.
Contact,
you got to actually
push
get just
it
a little
out
bit more than half
through.
a rock
That's
on
how
that.
you do that.
Get to it fairly easy.
So now it's going to have to be a hit and try to lie buried and make them do it again or draw.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate part of it is you just saw her make it. You know that if you dead bury this, it's still there to be removed.
Corey Tisi with her last of the 6.
Maybe if you could absolutely place the stone, you'd like to roll 2 or 3 inches past the guard on the other side and at least force her to chase from the other turn. That outside in has gone fairly straight. Boy, they're going to have to go to hold the shooter at all.
Working really hard. They are going to hold the shooter. Maybe, but it's going to be dead wide open.
Yeah, right into the port.
Almost want to maybe let it go further and get underneath the corner, at least force a draw. But Xenia Schwaller.
This may well be the last shot of this game.
Is going to have this open hit to take a 3. Gaffner in the house on the line. Ryder and Riker on the brooms.
Hard to make this hit and not get 3. Hard to hit it thin enough to roll out. If you're thin enough to roll out, you're probably crashing something.
Final stone of the 6. Off and on, they like it pretty. It is pretty. It is perfect. That's a score of 1, 2, and 3. And that'll be it. You can hang that final score as 7-2 in favor of Xenia Schwaller, and they will move on to the semifinals.
Strong game for the Schwaller team, and really from the get-go, the Peterson team just didn't look sharp today.
I certainly would have to agree with that. Just did not get what they were really looking for at any point there.
No.
So
bodes well for Schwaller going forward, not just in this event. They've made the playoffs now. We'll see how they can do as the event goes on. But again, they're one of the teams that's looking to play back-to-back weekends in the same club and see if that can benefit them next week as well.
Absolutely. So keep it right here on Curling Stadium at 5 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Central. We have the men's final coming up right here from Swift Current. So it's a 7-2 final in favor of Xenia Schwaller from the S3 Group Curling Stadium Series. So for Shawn, Joyce, Connor Sims, and our production team back in Ontario, I'm Dave Schmel. Thank you so much for watching us. Have a pleasant day.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline, join the revolution.
Saskatchewan, you know Sasktel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With Sasktel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. Sasktel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sasktel.com/sponsorships.